This is a special edition of WeatherScope, live coverage of Winter Storm 96.
Good afternoon to you. Welcome to the Weather Channel. Once again, we are here in the Forecast Center following part 2 of the blizzard of 96. Certainly a much weaker storm, but we are seeing some far-reaching effects due to all of the snow with the blizzard. Still plenty on the ground. This one has just caused more problems. This one has been more of a classic type of nor'easter where, at least with the precipitation, we see snow for the interior, that mixture of some sleet, freezing rain, and snow toward the inland areas, barely offshore, but along the coast we are now looking at some rain. Here's the latest conditions for you as we look at our low pressure. Low pressure now, two areas of low pressure combined over Delaware. One appears to be very close to the Dover area right about here. There's another area low pressure which appears to be offshore of Delaware. In the south, notice our isobars, our lines of equal pressure, not spaced very closely together. That means there is not too much wind in the south, although brisker winds into the northeast. Notice the isobars up here, they are packed a little bit more closely. So we do have those conditions of snow for the interior, some ice, snow, sleet mix, a little ways inland, then rain toward the coast. In fact, right now, as we take you to Manhattan, we have a little bit of rain right there with Jill Brown. Jill, what are the latest conditions?
Well, Rich, in the week that we've been in New York City, we have certainly run the gamut. We had the blizzard, of course, earlier in the week. That brought things to a standstill. Today, we've had a little bit of everything. Right now, it's rain, and it's 32 degrees. Now, we don't think we're really getting any freezing rain. We've been kind of checking out the light posts, etc. around here. The sidewalks are salted. The streets are slushy. So no problems with ice. That's the good news. But it is cold and real windy. I don't know if you can really tell that, but it's gusting to about maybe 30 miles per hour or something in that vicinity. It's a pretty nasty day. Let's show you some scenes earlier when it was actually a little bit prettier out here. Had some big snowflakes earlier in Manhattan. Too much snow on the side of the roads, no place to park, and traffic's going to be moving pretty slowly this evening, Rich.
Well, thanks, Jill. It looks like with some of that rain coming down, maybe it will ease way for clearing some of the snows off the street. Although, to your north, you were mentioning earlier, some of the schools closed. They are still seeing some heavy snow up toward White Plains, also now to Danbury, so it appears as though the brunt of this storm now shifting from New York toward Boston. Jill, thanks for that update. We will check back in another hour, and hopefully you can get an umbrella and stay dry there. Well, as we look at the latest, we do have our satellite photograph showing our storm center. Some dry air trying to work its way into around New York City. Eventually that rain should shut off, the brunt of our moisture heading across southern New England. Let's go ahead and show you the latest satellite picture. And what we do see is down toward D.C. and Baltimore, more of a dry slot here, some occasional light snow, maybe some sleet or freezing rain mixing in. Still something of a little bit heavier snow farther to the west. Our low pressure area right about through this area here. Again, that low is expected to make its way off the Jersey coast and actually up toward the coast of Maine into Nova Scotia. The latest on our radar across the area continues to show something of this dry slot up near Harrisburg and south of New York City. Again, towards the coast, this is rain. Farther to the interior, more of a mixture. And for most of the interior of New England, that is all snow that's coming down. A closer view of our radar showing some of the snow. In fact, we were talking to Jill at Manhattan Island right through here. That is now rain. It is also rain across a large portion of Long Island, although just inland up the White Plains and over to Danbury and up to Hartford, we're looking at some heavier snows. In fact, north of the Merritt Parkway, I imagine, there's that combination of some sleet and some freezing rain, then changing over to snow and some heavy snow for central Connecticut. One more radar. This one will take us closer to Boston. Around Boston, you're now seeing some snow, although down to Falmouth, you're seeing the rain as that warmer air comes in off the Atlantic. Interior areas like Massachusetts and interior Connecticut, you will likely see significant snow before more of a changeover, if it does happen. Now we'll toss it back to the studio with Janine with our forecast.
Thanks, Rich. These much quicker than the other storm system did last weekend. So what we're going to see is a rapid clear up after this thing moves on out of the picture. In the meantime, Rich showed you where those areas of real snowy weather are, moving now into portions of Massachusetts and Connecticut, where earlier our focus was in D.C. and Baltimore, where heavy snow was falling. Now it's all shifted up to the Northeast rather quickly. So that by Saturday morning, look at this in the Northeast, maybe a few flurries around, but for the most part, a real nice day. And just talking about maybe some snow showers off the lakes and windy conditions, because once again, Rich was showing you the isobars. Saturday morning and Saturday afternoon, they will be pretty tightly packed in there. So windy conditions and maybe some problems with blowing snow. Here's our next story. This is what we'll be talking about. Is an Arctic air mass moving southward. Meanwhile, a rapid...
Something wonderful is here to tempt you.